I've never been a big believer in travel insurance. I mean, who needs it, right? You're going on vacation, you're excited, you're all packed. It just feels like one of those things that's nice to have, but you don't really think you'll use. Well, let me tell you, I was wrong. The first time I found out exactly why travel insurance matters was, well, not exactly the best moment of my life. I was in Barcelona on this dream trip I'd been planning for months. The sun was setting, the city was alive with the sound of laughter and music, and I was feeling like the world was just mine. You know that feeling? Like you've got everything figured out, nothing could possibly go wrong. I had a whole week ahead of me, a list of things I was so excited to see. The perfect vacation. Until it wasn't. I'm standing in this busy little square, chatting with some locals who were telling me about this amazing little cafe. As I reach for my bag to grab my wallet, I suddenly freeze. My passport was gone. I immediately felt that sick feeling, that stomach drop moment. You know, when something is wrong, but you don't want to believe it. Maybe it's just buried somewhere at the bottom of the bag, right? I started searching frantically, digging through every pocket, every crevice. But nothing. Okay, calm down, I told myself. Maybe I left it back in the hotel room. I rushed back, trying to stay calm, but my heart was racing. I get back to my hotel and I start tearing the place apart. No passport. It was gone. Just gone. I felt like the ground had just been ripped from beneath me. Now, this isn't some oops, I left it in the taxi story. This was real. Someone had taken it. And let me tell you, at that moment, I had absolutely no idea what to do. I was stuck, completely stranded. The worst part? I was halfway across the world, in a country where I barely spoke the language, and my passport was the only thing that would get me back home. I didn't have a clue what to do next. I tried contacting the embassy, but that process was slow and messy. I didn't even know where to start with the paperwork. The thought of spending days, maybe weeks, just trying to get back home was overwhelming. And that's when it hit me. I'd always seen travel insurance as a nice to have, but I was now painfully aware of how necessary it could be. I had purchased travel insurance before I left, but honestly, it was more out of habit than anything else. I didn't think it was anything that would ever be used. But this was different. This was a real emergency. I called my insurance provider, who I'll be honest, I didn't expect much from. I was ready to hear the usual corporate nonsense. But to my surprise, they were different. They told me exactly what steps to take. They connected me to someone who spoke my language, who walked me through what to do next. They even helped me coordinate with the embassy to get an emergency passport. I couldn't believe it. Within a few days, I had a new passport and was back on track with my trip, even though the stress was still hanging over me. But that's the thing. That moment, when I was standing there feeling completely helpless and alone, I realized just how much I would have struggled without that travel insurance. I honestly don't know how I would have made it through without it. I would have been lost in a foreign country, dealing with everything alone at my own expense, with no idea how to fix it. But with the insurance, I was taken care of. I didn't have to figure it all out myself. That's the thing about travel. It's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. And I'm sure many of us like to think we're invincible, like nothing will go wrong. But trust me, it's worth taking a few extra minutes before you leave and investing in something that could literally save you from disaster. I don't want to sound too dramatic, but in that moment, I really felt like I was a second away from a complete travel nightmare. And I didn't have to go through it alone. If you're someone who, like me, doesn't always see the point of buying travel insurance, I totally get it. But I can tell you, after going through something like this, I will never leave without it again. Now, the travel insurance I ended up using was through Auras.insure. They didn't just send me some generic advice or leave me to figure things out. They were genuinely there for me. It wasn't just a policy number. They made sure I was taken care of, and I'm forever grateful for that. I don't want to push anything on you, but if you're heading out on a trip, I would seriously recommend checking them out. For me, it went from being a maybe to a must-have overnight. If you want to avoid what I went through, it's worth it. You never know what might come your way when you're away from home. Trust me, it's one of the smartest decisions I've ever made when it comes to travel. And believe me, I won't be caught without it again.